with the Ranger's Respite. I'm Philip, and this is Drinking Geeks. Whiskey review time. So, over the past week, members of the Whiskey Club and Patreon members have voted for what this week's review is, and chose Powers Gold Label Irish Whiskey. Which I don't remember if I mentioned in my Writer's Tears episode, but this is my other preferred Irish whiskey. I will admit that I haven't tried every Irish whiskey under the sun, or available in the state even, but of the ones that I have tried, this is one of my favorites. This costs about $10 less than Writer's Tears in Virginia. This is a $29.99, $30-ish bottle of whiskey. And I like it quite a bit, actually. It's a little more complex than Writer's Tears. On the nose, you've still got that slightly metallic, the slightly metallic note that sort of is, like in every Irish whiskey. But it's got more caramel, more malty bread notes, a little bit of honey, some like cantaloupe like scents. And right, as it's like entering my nostrils, there is just the hint of young alcohol scent, which doesn't really surprise me. Most young-ish whiskeys have that. On the palate, it's a little bit of green apple, more malt, more honey, and a little bit of like wildflower honey. Like, you know how wildflower honey has a tendency to be like sort of, sweet and flowery, and there's some of that in there. And of course the typical Irish tinniness. The finish is all like bread and honey and roasted almonds, and it fades relatively quickly, but it's an enjoyable finish, much like the Writer's Tears, except Writer's Tears is all green apple. I do enjoy this quite a bit. Overall, it's a very enjoyable, affordable Irish whiskey. But again, it doesn't have a lot of intense or complex flavors that are challenging, or the sort of like bold character that I enjoy. So I mean, I like it, but it's sort of the classic Irish whiskey that's eager to please and easy to drink, and that's good, but it's not generally what I look for in whiskey. But that makes it a much better whiskey for people who aren't looking for bold flavors and challenges and different things in whiskey. You know what I mean? I'd like to get my hands on other releases from John Powers, like John's Lane and Three Swallows. But anyway, now that I've talked about the whiskey in question for today, let's do a quick check on what's up for next week's review. As ever, Red Borner's Premium Single Barrel South Carolina Whiskey, a gift from my friend Sierra. Baker's Single Barrel 7-year-old, or at least 7-year-old. Fighting Cock 103, or Basil Hayden's, because that's sort of come up recently and I haven't talked about it in a while. So, members of the Whiskey Club and the Patreon can vote on these in the Discord starting today. Let's see. Right. Going forward, there will soon be an Etsy store where I will sell things to support the channel, because this is getting to be a little bit expensive to do, but I really enjoy it. Alright, still Pride Month, so gonna talk about Pride. So every once in a while I get asked, so far I haven't been asked in the comments of any of these videos, what's the point of Pride? Why do you guys need Pride? Well, Pride isn't about being bold and in your face about your sexuality. It's feeling safe to be who you are. For pretty much the entirety of modern civilization. You know, gay people have been criminalized. Did you know that, just today, the day that I'm filming this, the Supreme Court declared that you could not be fired for your sexuality. It's 2020. The rule that, or the law that was passed that the Supreme Court was upholding a challenge to, was passed in the 60s. And beyond that, so this week, Trump passed a law that made it legal for medical experts, for doctors, nurses, and medical practices to refuse to treat transgender people. We're not talking about refusing to provide hormone replacement therapy. We're talking about saying, no, I'm not going to treat you at all because you're trans, which means blood transfusions. And this isn't something that's new. Trans people have been facing this for decades, because the homophobia, transphobia, and racism inherent in pretty much every system that exists in the U.S. prevents them from getting the care that they need when they need it. It isn't new. It's not over. There is a long, hard road to fight. And if you don't understand why pride is a thing and why we feel the need to fight for this every day, then you are part of the problem. If you don't like pride, you are part of the problem. And you know what? A lot of the rights that we do have today stem from the action at Stonewall. You know who led Stonewall? black transgender woman, Marsha P. Johnson, who chucked bricks at cops, helped make it so that we have the rights that we have today, so that we can have pride. Pride should be a riot, because we are not treated as equals yet. So remember, Pride isn't a big party. Pride is a riot against police brutality and against the dehumanization of trans people, gay people, and of people of color. So, I have links down below to support the BLM movement, and the fundraising link for Miss Major. I would appreciate it if you would support those organizations and Miss Major. Until next time, stay happy, stay geeks, sláinte.